It's about to go down.
You are listening to
This is #1
WPRD 98.3 GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com and hosted by
You are listening to the incredible
Nova Phoenix and LK Mason.
You can satisfy only you. Only you can touch my heart. Only you. Only you can quench this thirst. Only you. Only you are more than enough. Only you. 'Cause you're the living God, and I want you. Yes, you are the only living God, and I need you. Come and take a walk with me. Only you. I need you to talk to me. Only you. I just wanna hear your voice. Only you. 'Cause only you are more than enough. Only you. 'Cause you're the only living God, and I want you. Yes, you're the only living God, and I need you. Oh, I need you. Nothing else in this world will do. I will forever run for you. No one could ever fulfill my heart. 'Cause you will forever be my God. Nothing else in this world will do. No, I will forever run for you. Ever and ever. No one could ever fulfill my. No one could ever fulfill. 'Cause you will forever be my God. Nothing else in this world will do. Yeah. 'Cause I will forever run for you. No one could ever fulfill my heart. 'Cause you will forever be my God. Nothing else in this world. Forever and ever. Forever. Yeah, yeah. 'Cause you will forever be my God.
This is the GCOM Radio.
the hood favorite. You wanna know who the best is?
It's WPRD 98.3.
This is WPRD 98.3 GCOM Radio. This is your host, Nova Phoenix, and you have listened to the bonus track by an artist named Nina Sims, coming out of Houston, Texas, with her new album that just dropped. It's called Love Child, and this song is called Only You. This is a big song when I first heard it. I mean, when the money is right, I see her sitting or standing in the sea of sand, just like a dune, like the Sahara, or on some ship on the Atlantic Ocean, and you have the huge choir and the lights and the sun, and you see the aerial shot come in. I mean, this is one of those huge songs. I was feeling it so much. Had to give it some love on the show. LK Mason is not here. She just had an unfortunate death in the family. So much love, sending love and light to her family, and condolences of the passing of her grandfather. I think he was like 98, 99, so she couldn't make it. A lot of families coming in. So much love to LK. So we're going to get into the first topic of the show in this first segment, and it's about the whole thing that's happening with Monique and the Steve Harvey thing on the Steve Harvey show, and her really just going over how she felt the industry was treating her. And there was a lot of talk, man. It was swirling around, man. There was a lot of talk that was happening, and a lot of bashing on getting on Steve Harvey and for what he said. And there were some things that were questionable. No doubt about it. But I'll get to Steve Harvey in a second. But as far as Monique is concerned, I do believe she has been undervalued. She has been undervalued. She's a legend. She's been doing her thing for a long time, and she should be treated with more respect for a celebrity of her caliber in acting her comedy. Look, she had the situation that happened a long time ago with Precious, and she was pretty much ostracized out of business when she kind of like railed against Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, and Oprah Winfrey. And listen, if she felt that she was being undervalued for what they was expecting from her for the whole Precious project, that's her decision, and that's what she went with. And as you know how Monique is, she don't care who you are. She feels like she's being shortchanged. She's gonna say it. So I don't have no problems with that with her. Monique is going to do what Monique's going to do. My only real problem I have with Monique is, again, this is just my opinion. She had her say, but sometimes she can inject those little, those slights to people that can get people a little ornery, a little heated. Now, to me, is just deal with the facts. Just deal with the facts, how people were treating you or was treating her, and kind of avoid all those little darts that can be thrown, like what she did with Steve Harvey on the show, saying is, they were trying to create the atmosphere like, Steve was saying, well, she was saying, I'm your sister, I'm gonna treat you like my brother, and I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna punch you in the face. And it's not a big deal, but at the same time, I felt like, was that really necessary to say? And those are the things, it's like when you have any argument with somebody, those are how things can get turned real personal. Now, when you just deal with the facts, let the facts, present the facts as how the facts should be presented. But when you throw those type of darts, the person on the opposing side, or the party on the opposing side, is going to go from the argument of what was based on the facts of their opinion, what was going on with whatever the situation is happening, and now it gets personal. So now people are not dealing with the facts anymore. Now it gets personal to the point where I got to throw a dart, and it can escalate from there. So, but Monique's, I know folks like that. When you have arguments like that, or it could be real chill, and all of a sudden it just throw one at you, a jab. I'm like, where that coming from? Why was that necessary? But that's Monique. And the whole thing with her Netflix deal, look, was she getting played? Yeah, she was getting played. It was undercutting. Okay, let me just start with Monique. She was getting played, and she was being undercut. That's the battle of the game when it comes to the business. Netflix had their argument to state that what shows has she done lately, how many numbers she's putting in, yada, yada, yada. And that's why they were given the number that they were given to Monique. Monique was like, look, I'm a legend. I did all that. Boom, 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 boom. And again, starting from Monique, she was right for what she was saying. she was negotiating her deal. That's what she was doing. And respectfully so, that's how you should treat it if you feel somebody's undervaluing it. Now flip it to Netflix, from a business standpoint, from the guy on the other side of the table, I could kind of get the argument. Okay, what movie did you put out that was a banger? How many seats did you fill? Show me the numbers, man. Show me the numbers of what you want to bring to us as Netflix to say that you deserve more money. But you know, that's the battle. And she feels that she wasn't getting what she got. Hey, man, that's what's up. Again, this is the other thing I'm going to talk from my personal experience as far as boycotting. She should have said boycott. That's hard to do. If you can say you can want to do a boycott for something that affects the people will be behind it. But if you want to do a boycott that you feel it's more for you, and it's kind of like, because, well, I want y'all to boycott because I'm not getting the right amount of money I'm getting. And when I'm kind of agree with Steve. That's rich people problems. You were getting $500,000 and you want to get $5 million, $4 million. Those are rich people problems. That's not something that you could pull people in to help boycott. Now, this is how I see it, is what Monique should do. She should say to Netflix, all right, you're not going to give me this money? All right, cool, fine. Humble herself and then go back and bang out a show on her own. Now, I heard she just got residency in Las Vegas, so that's a beautiful thing. But my thing is, before I heard about the residency, I simply had the discussion with somebody. She should bang out the show on her own. She should promote it. There's so many ways in the 21st century where you can do your own show. It doesn't have to be like high cost, but whatever it is, you get with people, you do your show, you can stream it online. You could do it at a comedy club or something like that and bring in those numbers. And now, once you have something set, a foundation that you've done a certain amount of shows, you sold a certain amount of tickets, you got 500,000 streams or a million streams, or whatever the case may be, kind of back up. If she wanted to approach Netflix again, that's what's up. And then now she could renegotiate. Now, if they still don't give her what she wanted, hey, listen, who cares? She figured out how to do it on her own to make her own money and do her own thing. Because that's another thing, flip to just go back to that. As far as that Netflix deal. As far as Netflix saying, oh, we don't want you to tell these jokes for 4 years or whatever the case may be, it maybe when you do this show for Netflix, I thought that was kind of, I'm like, I don't know if that's standard in the business of comedy, but that's kind of crazy for you to do a show and yet you can't do your bits any place else. It should only be on Netflix. That's kind of crazy to me. But that's a whole nother deal. I'm not in the comedy business. It just seems a little much. But to me, is do it on your own. Monique, do it yourself. Do it yourself. You put together your own show, you knock them out, and then you're going to have these people knocking down your door again. Or not, whatever the case may be. So that's my personal opinion for as far as Monique is concerned. I think a lot of that stuff, again, it sometimes can be rich people problems. I've heard of actors that are down on their luck and they just do what they got to do. They start from the ground and work their way up once again, and they were hot at one point. So, I just don't. That's what I don't agree with. In today's age, in the 21st century, the internet and streaming and all these other platforms that you can get your brand out there, or whatever the case. I mean, there's so many other options out there. When it comes to this, I just don't see why she was gonna take it to that route. So, but I give much love to Monique. She's going to do her thing at Las Vegas. But now to my man Steve. Oh, brother. Hey man, again, I show nothing but love, Steve. Yeah, brother. I know what she was doing. All right. I saw the interview after a lot of people were talking about it, and I took the time out to watch the show. And my thing was, hey, you said what you said. To me, what you said would be no different than what you would say if you had Monique sitting on the couch and you was just being very honest with her, like, listen, this is what it is. It's not a black thing, not a white thing, it's a money thing. However, I think that I think that the words that he chose made it seem that he would capitulate or he would bow down if the money was right for a certain dollar value. And I know you were trying to help Monique and all that, but I think it was best that it was best say, just stand by her, keep it cool, shout her out and say your piece on the radio. Maybe you didn't want to say it, because you didn't want to rock the boat for yourself. But the way you said that, it just sounded like, as honest as you were saying, I know you was trying to help, bro. I know you was trying to help, but the way it was twisted up made it seem that, you was going to go for the bag, whatever that it is, even if you have to compromise your integrity and your own self-worth and how you carry yourself. Now, I think Steve was right when he says it's not a black thing, it's not a white thing, it's a money thing, no doubt. Because in defense of what he said, let's be honest, everybody worked. A lot of people have been banging on those keys and knocking them over the head, calling he's a coon this, he's messed up that, and he gonna lay down, he gonna shuffle his feet. Okay, let's be real. All those people banging on those keys and saying all those things know that they work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week for a boss that they know is saying things about them or saying things that insults them, and they ain't saying nothing about it. All right, they ain't saying nothing about it because you know why? They gonna tuck their tail between their legs, and they knowing that they gotta pay their lights and pay their car and pay their mortgage or their rent and all these things, and they taking it. Okay, so calm down, y'all. With getting at Steve like that. Calm down, because I mean, let's be real. Now, I'm not saying everybody. I mean, look, I work a 40-hour job, and there are things that are being said that I don't agree with. And either it's about choosing your battles. Are you going to choose this battle to say what you want to say? Let's be real now. Let's be real. Are you going to choose this battle to get up in somebody's face and say, nah, you ain't going to talk to me, la, 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 la? Or you're going to be like, all right, I'm going to say, everybody goes through that. Everybody goes through it when they're working their 40-hour job and somebody says something sideways. Come on now. Somebody says something sideways and you go, should I flip now or should I flip tomorrow? Everybody goes through it, man. Let's be real, man. So what Steve Harvey said, I understand where he's coming from. But then he made missteps for even not just on the show, but he made missteps when Monique was saying it back then. He should have said, if he felt so strongly about it, he was like, hey man, I don't know what the situation is. You should get more money. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, that's something that they have to work out. Say something in that respect, but not wait till it gets to this point. Now you like, all right, let me get her on the show. I don't know how it came about for her to finally get on the show, but for her to get on the show and you saying all those things and But bruh, it's it looked crazy. All right, in the words you put. I know you in that from the kindness of your heart you were saying it, but it was looking crazy. And it just made you seem like you gonna shuffle your feet for the right price. But I know you was trying to help Monique. But that's Steve. That's what he said. That's what he said. And I'm not gonna knock Steve too much on that because we all go through it in our lives, in our daily lives. Some people take it and then they blow on the second time it happens. Some people take it for 6 months and then blow and blow up at their boss or whatever the case may be. So sometimes you have to treat the situation on a case-by-case basis and know what you're putting at risk. You know what I mean? If you're 21 years old and you don't have any kids, you live at home with your parents at 19 and somebody says something sideways to you, you're going to flip out and be like, screw this, I don't want that job. But wait till you have kids, you got your mortgage, you got a house, and you have things that you have to consider before you lay the smacketh down verbally. All right. And saying what you got to say to defend yourself. But it's your prerogative how you want to do it. It's your prerogative on how you really want to approach your boss or people in your industry. So I wish Monique much love and success. I'm pretty sure that this is gonna come around. It's gonna not be an issue. I'm sure they could work it out. Tyler Perry and Monique and all that. And let's square this up now. Everybody, hopefully everybody gets on the same page. Apologies are put out, and then people can get back to business. Steve, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, bro. Still, I got love for you as a brother because you're doing your thing. But it did come out kind of crazy once it was put out there, man. You just gotta just hold close to your morals and your ethics, and what happens. And I've definitely been put up in that similar situation, and I've gotten fired from jobs. I've got fired from jobs because I was like, F that. You ain't gonna talk to me like that. And it is what it is. And then I had to deal with the consequences of that, starving, not being able to pay rent and all that. I've been there. So, you got to choose your battles. Anyway, we're going to get out of here. We're going to get to the song of the day for the next song. It's Dewey the Dawn. My man's coming back, Dewey the Dawn is half of the Urban Republic out of ATL, Georgia. And this song features his man, Rose the Prophet. It is called Coolin. All right, yo, check this out. Peace.
I know bullets fly in the summertime. I know bullets fly in the summertime. I seen the realest die, shit still I ride. I got many brands of that contraband. There's no middleman between you and I. Who the plug? I am the guy. Which bitch probably getting high? Heard your boys barely getting by. Like steak and shrimp, my shrimp fried. Good job, bitch, high five. On the island, sipping my tie. She on the phone with a friend. Wanna sub me up on the FaceTime. Roll up on my face 9. Pops lot, did a dirty dime. Meat dog on the other case. My lawyer straight, so my case was fine. I'm bulling back, I'm on some other shit. I stay well equipped, my mother shit. Lethal weapons, extended clips. It gets ugly than a Glover bitch. I might take a shot for the fast life. Bust ahead of my bag light. She seemed amazing, see 40,000. I said, look, bitch, it's a light night. We get strapped down when I'm coolin'. Tech now with a cooler. Get money, what you doing? Shit, all my niggas be coolin'. Look, I'm strapped down when I'm coolin'. Tech now with a cooler. Get money.
Listen up.
You're listening to GCOM Radio.
Strapped down when I'm coolin'. Tech now with a cooler. Get money, what you doing? Shit, all my niggas be coolin'. Look, I'm strapped down when I'm coolin'. Tech now with a cooler. Get money, what you doing? Shit, all my niggas be coolin'.
Coolin' with Shorty was all on the app. Why your niggas just wanted to rap? Peeped up for pockets, I want it real bad. I hustle for that. Cut it for customers, wanted some crack. Had me a Chevy, it did in the bag. That didn't matter, it swung like a lag. No, that didn't matter, it swung like a lag. Pull up the function, it's already lit. Tell my little bro, I'ma bet me a bitch. I see her choosing, I'm choosing the kid. And she don't even know what my average is. Function going up on a Tuesday. All on Henny, no Duce. Swag on cool, no Lupe. Sauce on ice, no brulee. Remember one time, we was trying to dodge the one time. Now I'm on the block, about to kick it like a punt now. Knock, turn the hoes, come around when the sun down. That girl you with more, she a run around. Ladies, man, I'm pimpin'. About to get something different. About to hit singing misses. Tell Lola that she can get it. I'm fooling, coolin', I'm kidding. Loud pack, we bout our business. Visions like Russell Simmons and dreams of getting these digits. Seatbelt on when I whip it. License is still suspended. Pilly for these said enemies. Casing, I gotta end it. I'm gone.
Like Kobe in the 12th grade. Young nigga tryna get paid. On the road to the top, feeling great. Can't stop, got moves, no they can't wait. Few detours, all on the way, dog. Got girls that are on call. Got niggas tryna play ball. Retail, gotta sell for the bill, cause my nigga just got caught. Only in for a couple of hours, then we wrote for a couple of days. Thinking and scheming of making these figures and picking up women so we could get laid. Feelings are starting to fade, sometimes she's stuck in the days. I really need to escape, roll up and then I get blazed. Had to go back to my ways, THC all in my body, yeah, 60% of me cannabis trace. Smell it whenever I braid. Is that a O? Damn it, I'm killing the beat. Fifth homicide in the wig. Call it a triple, cause Urban Republic went right before me. I'm the producer committed to felony, making this heat. Take you a second to think. Let me continue to preach. I'ma continue to preach. Call me the prophet, I'm getting this knowledge while serving the streets. Call me Noel with the tree. Never increasing the fee. Never give out for the free. But if you fucking with me, or if I call you homie, maybe you smoke it with me. I got a piece T.
I'm strapped down when I'm colder. Tech now with a cooler. Get money, what you doing? Shit, all my niggas be coning. Look, I'm strapped down when I'm colder. Tech now with a cooler. Get money, what you doing? Shit, all my niggas be coning. Look, I'm strapped down when I'm colder. Tech now with a cooler. Get money, what you doing? Shit, all my niggas be coning. Look, I'm strapped down.
This is GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com. Come join, be a lifer. Practice dollar power and build financial independence.
Okay, that was Dewey the Don, half of Urban Republic, with Rosa Prophet with the song Coolin. All right, so we're going to get into the next topic, and it was about a show that I saw. It was with Andrew Yang. He was on the Joe Rogan show. So he's running for president, and what makes him so special, as apart from all the other candidates that come in Democratic Republic, and just to let you know, I'm really not Democrat or Republican, but I want to get into more of that later in the next segment. But what makes this man special is the fact that he supports universal basic income. Basically, everyone has a right, or everyone should collect $1,000 per month, every single individual. The thing is with Andrew Yang and UBI, Universal Basic Income, is that we're not really dealing with the crashing fall of the jobs that we are working today, and America's not really preparing for that. And I have to say that I agree. We do have an oncoming problem with jobs, and politicians will tell you, well, you know what, we've had an increase in jobs in the 2000 and end 2018 coming in 2019, whatever the statistics are. But a lot of them are not saying that. A lot of these jobs that are coming in are low wage jobs, they're retail jobs, and even these jobs are in danger of diminishing or vanishing because of automation and the improvement of AI in the next 15 and 20 years. Now, a few of these jobs are going to disappear, definitely, and this was done by The Economist in an article that was dated April 24th, 2018. We have a list of jobs that's going to be automated, and it's going to just put people out of business. It's food preparation, it's construction, it's cleaning, it's driving, agricultural labor, garment manufacturing. And the funny thing is with garment manufacturing, I was actually looking on how they were going to automate, because, you know, at some point they're going to deal with the outsourcing of jobs. That's in Thailand, that's in China, that's all these other developing nations that eventually they're going to be automated, and robots are going to take the place of these people. It's going to happen. And it's a funny thing is it's on YouTube. All you have to do is Google automation in the textile industry, and you'll see the new inventions that they're coming up with that is just going to replace people altogether. And it's kind of a tricky thing because robots, they haven't really mastered ways where robots can kind of like be dexterous and like handle the things that humans can handle, those little details. They have made some, yes, I've seen the surgery on the grape thing, but the many variations, the way where the human body, the arms, the wrists can kind of move around and situate things and objects and be delicate and be forceful in certain ways that can move things along. They are coming with the technology that is mimicking it, but they haven't quite mastered it. But it doesn't mean that it's not going to come into play in the next 5 to 10 years. Right now, this is baby steps. And after you've seen with Asimov, that robot, it's amazing what they're doing. You just YouTube Asimov, is a robot that really like kicks ball and runs and skips and does all these amazing things. And it's just like Asimov, but they have other robots that can do amazing backflips. It's scary. But they haven't, to me, they haven't really dealt with the fine detail and movements that human arms can do when it comes to garments. But if you check out that textile thing, you'll see that they're on their way. And in a good 5 to 10 years, they're going to master how they're going to replace every human being that's doing I'm telling my age right now. All the fashionable brands today. And as soon as a fashion company can figure out a way to replace human beings, they will do it. And if they can bring that number down to 0, they will do it. Now, the other jobs that are going to come at risk is sales, personal services, customer service, business administration, information technology, science and engineering, of course, healthcare, hospitality and retail management, upper management in politics, teaching, and such and so forth. So, I mean, this is going to come at breakneck speeds. Not even at breakneck speeds. You know what's going to, honestly, we're asleep. It's not even going to come at breakneck speeds. It's going to come when we least expect it, and we're going to see it on the news, and we can see it online, and we're going to see it on our mobile phones, and all this new technology, and whatever they're going to name it. And next thing you know, it's going to smack us in the face, and we've been seeing the coming of automation for the last 10 years, but we were asleep because we were busy trying to make some money. And next thing you know, our boss is going to come to us in the morning and say, we will no longer need your services next year. And we will have to lay you off because we have this new fancy robot that's going to do twice as much work as you do. And we don't have to deal with medical bills or your health benefits or paying money. It's going to be a serious problem. So my thing is with UBI, I think it's a lot of times Republicans, or not just Republicans, but politicians, because to me, I just see them as one party. There's no Democratic Party. There's no Republican Party. It's just who's exactly been paid off right from the lobbyists that have taken over government. That's how I feel. And we do have a serious problem with that. So now with these politicians, they're not going to give any answers to how people are going to go back to work, how people are going to be retrained. They don't have those answers. All they're going to do is kick the can down the road, and hopefully somebody else will deal with it. And by then it's too late, and then you're going to have anarchy. But I think we seriously have to deal with how we're going to work out some sort of universal basic income, because the automation is either going to totally eliminate certain industries, or it's going to seriously reduce the numbers to the point where people can't sustain themselves, the community, the society. I think I've spoken about this before on one of the previous episodes, but I'm just speaking about it because seeing this man Andrew Yang, it's very against the grain of what he's talking about, and I just want to see what else that he has. But I suggest people tune into this man and listen to him and see what he has to offer. Now, is universal basic income going to be like the God solution that's going to bring some sort of utopia to the United States? No, it's not. It's not going to be. There's no one answer to the problems that any country has to deal with. But I think what's important is we figure out how we can soften the blow to becoming the industries that are not going to be around in the near future, when our kids get to be 21 and 25. It's a very real thing, and it's scary. So universal basic income, there's ways where we can sit down and handle the budget. And I've seen the budget that we have, the United States budget, and more than half of the United States expenditures are with war, and it's unsustainable. It's unsustainable to the point where it's become bloated. And we're overreach. The United States is overreaching. I say we because we're all in this together. This is one big boat, and we all, unless people want to leave the country and go to another place, you have to say we. I can't say I can't be on a boat, a cruise line, the Royal Caribbean, and all of a sudden the whole a whole blast into the side of the Royal Caribbean, and I'm looking at everybody running around. I'm like, well, sucks to be you guys. I don't know what you gonna do. Oh, fool, I'm on the boat too. So I might as well jump on the rescue boat or help try to figure out how we going to plug this hole up. So as long as you're in this country, we all in the same boat. So I think we have to seriously deal with the issues that's at hand with the diminishing of jobs. Look what's happening at the Payless Shoe Store. All 2,100 of their stores are going to be closed. They're going bankrupt. And it's not the first store chain that's having this problem. It was Toys R Us. Now I've seen that they're coming back. Some other company bought them out, but they're opening up in other countries, and the first stores are going to open up here at some point in the United States. But there's Toys R Us, and there's so many I can't even remember right now. But we see a pattern that's developing here where these companies can't even sustain themselves anymore because of Amazon, because of the internet, and with automation, and how these different advances in our technology is changing the way we actually operate as individuals, but also as businesses. And they can no longer sustain themselves, and that's why they're coming crashing down. So what do we do as people? We have to seriously go to our elected officials and say, we have to deal with this. Again, it's not about Democrat, it's not about Republican, it's not about the wall, it's not about immigrants, it's not about any of these things. What we are dealing with is a changing of society, and certain things are no longer going to sustain us. Certain things are no longer going to provide us monies in order for us to continue to pay the bills that we have on a month-by-month basis. What jobs are those going to be that's going to replace those jobs? I don't know. We didn't know about Airbnb. We didn't know about Facebook. We didn't know about Instagram. We didn't know about any of these things until they flourished and became the internet services that we use today. But what we can do is use UBI to, as I said before, to soften the blow, and you at least can give people options on what direction they need to go in order for them. And maybe jobs will not be a thing of our societies in tomorrow. Maybe we may not need to trade our time for money. Maybe it's something more like you getting into what you really love and what you feel passionate about, and figuring out your purpose in order for you to live your life for whatever time that you have. I think that's what's most important. It's not just giving yourself your body for 8 hours, for 40 hours a week, for 365 days, whatever it is, the working days of the year, and just for this little nut for you to save. But it's more like trying to find your purpose and what really fulfills you. Now, it's funny that we kind of bring this up. It kind of keys into what Lyfeblood.com is about. And I said it could be for anything. As far as everybody knows, Lyfeblood.com, you just being a member for whatever that you're doing, whether you're a chef, a ballet dancer, and you're asking people to donate to your passion, your lifeblood. And it could be as much as 5,000, 10,000, however friends that you have that want to give into you succeeding as an individual. But that's one way you could look at Lyfeblood.com. But me thinking about the issue of the lack of jobs is going to face us in the next 10 to 20 years. I'm saying, okay, how can we apply this to what we need for right now? And I say right now, in the next 2 to 5 years, 10 years. And I said Lyfeblood can be very useful because I did an article a long time ago, and it was called A Dream That May Be All in the Chase. And I saw something on the Black Enterprise, blackenterprise.com, about Chase giving money for small businesses. And me just thinking about that, being an entrepreneur for many years. And I said, well, it doesn't make sense for the amount of money that Chase is giving. And in particular, it was about the Bronx. And it doesn't make sense to me. People today, practically, you need 6 figures in order to really get your business started right. So giving somebody $15,000, $12,000 doesn't really adequately supply entrepreneurs or small business people with the money that they need to really get on the ground running. And I just saw it as more of Chase investing in getting money from people instead of the opposite. Instead of encouraging small business to be successful, it was more like them doing a business investment on getting money back. So what I mean by that, if I give you $12,000 as a small business owner, and for you blow that money and you go through it for your business, but of course $12,000 goes quickly. Next thing you know, you owe a bank $12,000 with interest. So now you're paying, not instead of 12, you could be paying 17 or 20,000. Now it has to go back to Chase or whatever financial institution that lent you the money. Now they're making out, but you don't make out. They're making out because they're making the interest on the money, but you don't make out because that was little to nothing in order for you to just do what was necessary for you to drive your business. So I came up with an idea for Lyfeblood.com, and I was thinking, okay, just think about it like this. There's 577,000 people employed in the Bronx, where Chase was given this money, this small business, as they say, some kind of stimulus, whatever. And I thought about it like this. If you have 577,000 people that are employed in the Bronx, and 577,000 people gave $25 per month in a special fund, they would have collected $14.4 million in 1 month. Wow, that's a lot of money, right? That's crazy. And that's all well and good. But imagine if they make this a long-term investment for the Bronx alone. I'm not talking about any other city. I'm not talking about the state. I'm not talking about country. I'm talking about for Bronx, New York, for the people that live in the Bronx. If they have taken that $14.4 million and saved it for a year, they would have came up with $173 million. $173 million. Imagine if that same money went back into funding small business to people, whatever that you want to do. That's way better than the $12,000 that they would give somebody. It would be more like $100,000 or $150,000 or $200,000. Now, if a specific campaign was made for a small business, towards the end of this campaign, you could do a grand finale. They say the Census Bureau says there's about 490,000 homes in the Bronx. And imagine every household donates $100 at the end of this campaign. $100. They would have come up with an additional, they would have come up with an additional $49 million on top of the 173. So now the Bronx community raised a grand total of $222 million for small business development. This is all done by the people alone if they collected this money. Now that money could be turned around with the right people involved to go right back into the community in the Bronx. Isn't that something? You did not have to go to a bank for it. The money is there. The money has always been there. It's been in your hand. It wasn't in, you didn't have to walk to your local bank to do this. You could do it yourself. And how this ties into UBI? Well, this could tie into UBI. It can tie into small business. Now, the fund can be for whatever you want. If you're out of work and you want to start a business, you have a great idea, you submit your plan to this small, I guess 501c3 or nonprofit, however this community body develops, and they create this fund. You could go and you submit your business plan, and you could get like $150,000, $200,000. If you are poor and you can't, you have to feed your family, you could go to this fund. Hey, is it right if I get $10,000 so I can feed my family for the next 10 months while I look for work, or as I said before, however it can be created, which works best for the community. And I think this is how Lyfeblood ties into UBI. And it's not exactly UBI, but it's more like a communal collective on trying to answer the immediate problems that face poor communities today. You know what I mean? And it's the same way with UBI works out for people. It's the same way this can work out for folks as well. So we're going to get into two new songs, all right? So we got J Rails coming back with another song called New Black Anthem. And for the new artist that we have here is Miles Shannon out of Los Angeles. His song is called Price Went Up. I was really digging the video. It was kind of a throwback to an old movie from back in the day where the dude was holding up the radio over his head so he could get the attention of the girl to get the girl back. I can't remember which name of the movie. Anybody knows the movie, just let me know in the comments somewhere. So we're gonna get with J Rail, New Black Anthem, and Miles Shannon out of Los Angeles. Price Went Up. And if you want to see his video, you got to go to the YouTube channel. So when it's audio, you'll hear the video, you'll hear the sound, the song. It's gonna be, you can tune in there. But if you want to see the video, go to our YouTube channel, Lyfeblood.com, Dark Sun Entertainment, and you can check out the video there. All right? So check this out, y'all.
You are now listening to the New Black Anthem. Please act accordingly.
Nod your head real back again with a flow that make you wonder who else rap again. I'll snap again, make your favorite rapper spin, but this time I'll rhyme for my melanin. For Fred Brown to blacker skin, we was happening past dramatic and we lasted in. Yell change with resonance, the spark lit and Barack became first black president. Symbolic of the years of the struggles we face, stripped us of our heritage, now the culture replaced. No other race of people can never say they relate, but when it comes to the culture, they all eat off our place. We raising the stakes, why? Cause they can't reach us. Our black too bold, they can't bleach us. Tried to kick us out of school, they can't teach us. But let Mr. Real give you game like a teacher. This for the culture, this for the culture, this for the culture. So put your fist up high in the sky. This for the culture. This for us, by us. This for the culture. So put your fist up high in the sky. I'ma do this one for the kings and queens. Speak the truth with love like Dr. Martin's dream. Some hard-headed, you can't tell them things. They eyes closed, I stay woke, sleeping ain't everything. For the culture, why I do it, know you're listening. Black and proud, say it loud, or you're missing thing. Built the nation on our back, and the flag we the seen. Black gold worth the world more than the gift of me. From royalty to a slave, and I got free. Keep thriving, no Jim Crow gon' stop me. I throw a fist to my brother cause he got me. We in the streets and all Black Panther mob. We saw no just us. We knew it's just us. Gotta lift us up. In God we trust. They ain't ease up and we push back. Try to break us, but you know that black don't crack. And that this for the culture. This for the culture. This for the culture. So put your fist up high in the sky. This for the culture. This for us, by us. This for the culture. So put your fist up high in the sky. We the culture and the world know it. We be shining and I'm all for it. We the people gotta learn for ourselves. We can do our own thing. We don't need no help. Cause if we did it before, we can do it again. And we flourished before cause we was cool in our skin. Come together, we always destined to win. Let's give the youth a new reason to lift up their chin. Stand together, put the village back and raising them. Show them love, help them fight against the rage in them. The world killing, drugging, and caging them. Told them the league the only one that's paying them. And if you don't shoot the jumper, gotta hit the block. Black child, you're great, the lies gotta stop. Don't ever let nobody tell you that you ain't worth nothing. Chase your dream to the future, then you be the front runner of the coach. This for the culture. This for the culture. This for the culture. So put your fist up high in the sky. This for the culture. This for us, by us. This for the culture. So put your fist up high in the sky.
Let that fist be a constant reminder of the strength of our unity. We'll rise together or separately we'll fall.
Straight to the four corners of the earth. What we have here are sonic bangers.
No doubt.
On the world stage.
Woo!
I can tell you're lying, baby. Is that her dad?
Miles, what's going on?
Hi, good morning, Mr. Page. How are you? I'm sorry about all this. We're almost done. We're gonna be done very soon. I'm sorry. I know it's early. Sorry about that.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, we'll be out.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you so much. Sorry. Thank you.
Sounding off around the world. You are listening to GCOM Radio.
You just heard J Real new Black Anthem and Miles Shannon coming out of Los Angeles, and his song was Price Went Up. Did you dig the song? Did you dig the video too on the channel? To the song and it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, man. So we're gonna get into the last segment of the show. What we talking about? Let me see this list. What am I talking about? Oh yeah, the presidential run for 2020. So the presidential run for 2020. What do I gotta say about that? What do I gotta say? So the presidential run for 2020. I'm just trying to. I want to put up this article right here. So I can let people know. Everyone that's running. Look, I'm not a politics nut. You know what I mean? I don't go into every detail, but the things that affect me the most, I keep my eyes on it. And we have a couple of presidential. I'm speaking for Democrats, and the reason why I'm speaking about Democrats, I was Democrat for many years. And I switched for probably I've been an independent for the last, 6-7 years or something like that. And even when I was a Democrat, I was really not, a typical Democrat, what you would say, and just like hardcore partisan. And I'm just representing one party. But I just turned Democrat, and I was an independent for many years, and I'm not crazy about what I see as far as the Democratic Party is concerned. And my thing is with the Trump situation. I mean, there are a lot of people that have turned off from Trump, and there's a lot of people that even in his circle, they're defecting from him, from a lot of the things that he's talking about. Recently, this Rose Garden thing with this whole emergency, decree or whatever the case may be. And it's not looking good for the Republican Party. It's not looking good for Trump and his ilk. A lot of these cats is getting arrested. They're getting bagged up. They're getting turned on. They're flipping. They're turning on Trump. There are a lot of people just retiring out of nowhere and, flipping off on Trump after they leave office. And it's not looking good. So now the reflexive action from seeing all this that Trump is laying out to the world is now, people are emotional. You vote emotionally, most people anyway. They don't really go with the facts, and people go with how they feel and not with the details of what's being said to them. So people are getting rubbed and pushed towards the Democratic side. And so you have Kamala Harris, and I see this list here. You got Bernie Sanders. That's Sherrod Brown. You recently talked about him with the GM shutdown in a previous episode, and what he was going to do about that. So I didn't even know he was running. That's interesting. You have potential candidate Joe Biden. I think he's undeclared at this point. Also, I'm sorry, Sherrod Brown is also undeclared, but it's being thought about. You have possibly Beto O'Rourke. You have Elizabeth Warren. You have Cory Booker. You have Kirsten Gillibrand. You have Amy Klobuchar, I guess. She's a Minnesota senator. So you have a couple of the people in the Democratic side that's going to. We'll see in the near future on how they're going to move forward with the presidential campaigning. And honestly, I'm really not. I'm hearing a lot of good talk from some of the people. Like I'm hearing about Elizabeth Warren, of course, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker. I heard a few things from some Beto O'Rourke. I like Beto O'Rourke. He's talking a good talk. But my thing is, look, I'm not a spring chicken. You know what I mean? I'm not 19, 20, 21 anymore. And I'm kind of like, I'm like, let's get past all the nice talking points and, reaching out to the people and have cameras in your face and telling them what you're going to do and getting everybody riled up and cheering and all that. But I'm beyond that now. I don't like the pandering. And I'm not saying anybody, these folks are pandering for right now. I'm not saying that, they're pandering to their constituency. They're run-of-the-mill politicians. They're going to say what they got to say, get the people riled up, get the vote, and then all of a sudden, once they get in, all of a sudden it's business as usual on how, as we know how our government works, unfortunately. And I'm not really excited. As an African-American, I watch Power 105, and I've seen Kamala Harris, and they're giving her a lot of the business on her little. It wasn't even a flub. It was just how words were overlapping, and it made it seem that she said she smoked weed and she listened to Snoop Dogg and Tupac. But it was more like an overlapping on words with Charlamagne the God and DJ Envy, and all of a sudden you had people just reaching out and just blasting them. And a lot of times people are blasting them because the opposing side is blasting her, and then you also have black folk that's blasting her, and because they don't like how she's coming. And the reason why they don't like how she's coming is because she's talking the same run-of-the-mill business as any politician is, especially when it comes to what black folk or the black African American population is talking about. And I'm not really excited, and I think I love Obama, but I think there were a lot of things that were it was a lot of symbolism. It was a lot of getting up there and talk and just kind of calming the people down. And what people, especially when it comes to African American people, we're past that now. We don't want to deal with any symbolisms or the dancing or, this rapper, or, how to do this dance, and are you really cool and hot sauce in my bag, like you down with the culture. No, people don't want that anymore. They want concrete legislation that is going to help African American people, and the concrete legislation that's going to help American people. People are talking about jobs. People are talking about how we going to deal with the coming issues in the next 10, 15 years. And when you really break it down, it comes to whether it's a red state or blue state, it comes to things, real tangible things that people are asking for. People are talking about healthcare. People are talking about jobs. People are talking about jobs that disappeared and what they're going to do with job training. People are talking about a whole list of things, and immigration is just one of them. That's what's getting thrown in people's face. But really, immigration is a talking point. But let's be honest. South American people are not putting guns to the heads of these businesses that wants them to pick fruit. Let's be real, all right? The characteristic of capitalism is about having cheap labor and high profits. And labor is expensive in America. So they're not going to go for Americans to work certain jobs in this country, all right? Like making beds and picking fruit and all these things. Let's be honest. Business owners want cheap labor. So they're going to get the immigrant that's coming over the border, and they're going to pay him half or not even a quarter of what he would pay an American, $5, and then they're going to make their profit when they, whatever that they sell, you know, whether it's oranges and apples or whatever the case may be. That is the problem or the issues that people are dealing with immigration. Some other folk, right? When it comes to immigration, when the Republicans talk about immigration, they make it seem about, you know, the criminals and the rapists and the drug dealers and the coming. We're not talking about that, all right? That's not what we're talking about immigration. When it comes down to it, it's economics. It's economics. And let's be honest. No American, no white American, no black American is going to work and toil the fields. Nobody doing that. That's the past. What they don't like is now you browning up America, and that's what is getting under people's nerves. They know the deal. They know what's up. They know what's the deal with immigration. Let's be real, all right? They want South Americans to come in here and work, and that's actually been the talk, and send them back when the work is over. But that's not happening. This is capitalism, all right? We're dealing with the realities of capitalism, and you're going to have cheap labor. They're not just going to work here, but they're going to live here. This is the thing that when you deal with Sean Hannity and you deal with all these other cats or whatever the case may be, these opinion pieces that you see on the news with Rush Limbaugh, they want to scare up the fear in people and scare people and say, oh my God, the brown people, we got to have these criminals. We know it's not about that. We know it's not about that, okay? But the funny thing is, it's not the immigrants that's becoming the problem. It's just the inherent. It's the characteristics of capitalism that white Americans don't want to deal with. It's the outcome of capitalism that white Americans don't want to deal with. You know what I mean? And that's, you know, everywhere they look around is black and brown folk, and they're like, you know, whatever. So anyway, let's get back to the subject. So you're dealing with immigration. So now, you know, I'm not really digging any of these candidates. You know, they're talking about the same good talk, and I'm like, you know, I want to get past that. I want to get to the nitty gritty on what's affecting this society. And what's affecting this society that we're falling behind in is education. We're falling behind in adequate jobs is going to pay people a proper wage in order to raise a family and to live, you know, for themselves. We're talking about job training so we can transition into the jobs of the 21st century. We're talking about all these things that gives people a quality life in America or in any society. The basic needs that people are asking for, the American people may be misdirected on the root cause of the issues, but at the end of the day, it's about economics, and these three things are what's key. And politicians are not dealing with it because we're not dealing with it with Democrat and Republican. We're dealing with the haves and the have-nots, and it's the haves that are getting more of what they are hoarding, and the have-nots feeling the effects of that. And they're dealing with more pennies and dimes and figuring out how they're going to live from the next week to the next month. But I think that's the technology with what's happening with the Republican and Democratic side. Because when I read all these articles, all I see is, oh, these are what the Democrats are doing. And the Republicans and the Democrats are saying, oh, these are what the Republicans are doing. And it's forcing people into this construct of a two-party system that wants to make them fight each other. And it's not about that. It's not about that. And these are the same things that Sean Hannity talks about, Rush Limbaugh talks about, even, you know, Bill O'Reilly. I love the dude, but he keeps on inserting that word, the Republicans. I'm like, it's not even about that. If how I see myself is as a human being. I don't affiliate myself with any political party. I see myself as a human being that wants to have certain things in order to raise a family, in order for me to eat, in order for me to progress. I have food on the table. I can save money. I can have a job that I don't mind getting up to, and I can make sure I can save enough so my kid could go to college or get a quality education and it not be expensive. And that's a whole other thing with it. Now colleges is turned into a business. It's being privatized right before our eyes, and we have kids with $100,000, $120,000 college debt, and right before they even start life. That's craziness. So politicians are really not dealing with the real issues at hand. It's more of distractions and kind of funneling people's attention towards things that really don't matter. And that some topics may be real. They may be substantial, or it affects people's lives, like immigration, but then they're kind of clouding it with, what Trump is saying with criminals and drug dealers and, the lower class people, less than human. We know that conversation when it comes to black people, right? All right, then. We know how that conversation goes. So people are not getting an objective view of what is adversely affecting them as citizens in this country. That's why I didn't vote for Hillary. I didn't like Hillary. So all this robotic talk that's coming from Democrats, I already know how the Republicans are getting down, but this establishment politic talk that's coming from Democrats, I see right through it. Now, this is my other problem. If that's the case, and I want to get behind someone that's really talking well, that's what somebody will. We'll get somebody. That's true, but this is the thing. As I said before, you get behind somebody, you vote them in, and then the machine swallows them up, and then now they're talking the same thing that all the past establishment politicians have been talking about for decades. I think what people have to do. I think one of the I was singing it loosely was talking about some kind of a people's fund. I think that you have to hold these politicians to you, and I hate to say the only solution is money, but right now that's the tool that's being used money's being weaponized and being used against the populace. And I think, how about if people have some kind of people's fund, and they'll say, okay, listen, I see all your talking points, you're great, I'll vote for you. But then once they get in, there's got to be something that you could drop a carrot in front of people's mind, in front of these politicians' eyes, and then at least you can hold them to something and say, okay, listen, you're in, you got to do this for us, and this is what we can do for you in the interim. I don't know, it could be money, it could be, I don't know how it can be, but there's got to be some way where you can hold politicians' feet to the fire to make sure you get what you need as a citizen of this country. Again, I see right through it. And I see right through on both sides. And what gets me is there are looming problems that it's going to destroy the foundation of what this society is built on currently, and it's going to fall apart. And I don't want to be on a sinking ship. You know what I mean? So as long as I'm here, as long as I'm tied financially and personally to this country, I'm going to make sure that, I'm going to listen. There's certain inequities that you have to fix. There are inequities that you have to fix amongst the people and everyone involved. And then you can't do it by just, side talking or out the side of your mouth, and then, spinning some kind of a dream to people. And then once you get in, now all of a sudden you making money, you're caking off, and then you filling your pockets full of money, and you saying screw the people. So I'm not really for any of these politicians. I'd rather have a politician that comes off from the street instead of these people that pop up out of nowhere. And then they start talking on the camera, and I'm like, okay, where'd you come from? And then it turns out they're an heiress or an heir to like a multi-million-dollar company. And I'm like, what? I'd rather have someone that's off the street. You need someone that's going to be live with fire, and that's for the people, and their convictions are strong, and they're going to do everything within their heart in order to get what the people need. And a lot of people are behind Alexandra Cortez. I forgot her name. Ocasio-Cortez. You know what? I'm sorry. I don't want to get her name wrong. I'm going to Google her name. So one of those people that really have the superstar of politics is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and she's great. She's great, and I like her energy, I like her vibe. Well, you know, I'm always a cynic. I call myself a realist, and I'm like, okay, she's lit up with fire now, and it's beautiful. I'm just watching her, but then how long will it take for her to start to slowly get sucked into the machine, and then all of a sudden she becomes the very people that she's fighting against in her young political career. So I'm waiting to see. I watched by on the sidelines trying to say I'd rather vote for somebody that's off the street, man. I'd rather that, and then we can support them financially, or through our donations or whatever, and then you know we have them, and then certain things we're gonna have to deal with. I'm trying to find the right words. Personally, as the American people. And it's not going to be an easy thing. It's not going to be an easy thing, and it's going to take some sacrifice, and it's going to take some of our for people to put themselves in their bodies, just like how it was the Poor People's Campaign, and putting their bodies out there and marching and all that. Because I don't see it getting any better. I can't see it, and I can't see that it's going to happen just through a simple vote. You know what I mean? It's like it's almost like throwing an apple in a poisonous barrel. You know, the more apples we add into this half barrel of rotting apples is by throwing more apples in there, and eventually, you know, people won't take the bad apples. They'll just be faced with the good apples, and I can't go with that, because what happens? You just don't. You know, it's still a poisonous barrel. You know, the whole the rot of the old apples is just going to travel, and the decaying juices is only going to permeate and infect the other good apples. You know, sometimes you got to throw the barrel out. What are you gonna do? All right, so that was the last of my ramble. We're gonna get out of here. Thanks for listening. Remember, go buy Zena the Brave, the book. Beautiful book. Is spreading around the world. Also, go to Lyfeblood.com, be a lifer, sign up, get your profile set up, let people know about it. If you are a forward thinker, this is where we are going to build a new society. So we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate it. Thanks, y'all. We out.
It's WPRD 98.3 GCOM Radio, powered by Lyfeblood.com for the global community. On the next go round, from right here to your town.
You already know.
We out.